What's up, guys? Welcome to some balance board beginner basics. Gonna go over just some simple stuff such as like what is a balance board, why it's beneficial for brain health, how to get on it, get off it, foot position, etc. But one thing I really want to emphasize is that this is for so much more than just your balance. This is also extremely good for brain health, nervous system regulation, toe and foot strength, which is also, they're starting to realize that toe strength is very much related to your brain health. Your foot strength and health is all connected to your brains. You have 200,000 nerve receptors on the bottom of your feet. And the problem is when we're constantly in shoes, and basically think like if you had your hands in just some sort of little glove that didn't have finger holes and they were like this, you wouldn't have very functional hands or fingers. So when you're on the board, it's very important. I tell people to get shoes off. You want to get those toes nice and active where you can grip well, get good feedback. Because when you're targeting certain spots in the feet, it can also help with certain parts of the brain. So this can help with traumatic brain injuries, and it's also just fun. But anyways, I'll get into the actual board stuff. So when you first start, you want to make sure you're being safe. Safety, biggest priority. You don't want to get hurt when you get on one of these things. So make sure you're set up on carpet, or I always emphasize getting a mat to roll out as well. You can set up in front of a wall, or what I do for people in the gym, I set up a barbell and some safety arms, gives them something to hold on to. Okay, work within your limits. This is kind of a taller roller. You can use a shorter one, then you're a little bit lower to the ground. Not quite as difficult. You're going to hit the ground a little bit easier with the board and not fall off. There's also these inflatable cushion pads. These are really great. You can deflate them a little bit so you're not as high off the ground as well. This will also help you go with like forward and back as well. Very good for ankle strength and balance work. So when you're first getting on, again, safety. So I don't need a bar, but if you do, make sure you're holding onto the bar or using the wall. And when you first get on, you don't want a very aggressive angle like this. Okay, that's going to be a big drop in. You're going to fall real fast on it. You want to just have a slight angle right about here. Okay. And when you're first doing this, just get set up wherever you're comfortable. Your toes might be angled out to the side. Ideally, you want to get to where they're nice and straight, because this is what's going to transfer over into developing athleticism as well. But just a little bit of weight over onto that foot that's elevated, and then just kind of coast side to side. When you're first starting again, just get to where you're comfortable balancing, holding some static holds, soft knees, breathing into the belly. A lot of people, when they're balancing, they get real tight and rigid. You don't want that. That makes it harder for you to send these signals to the muscles to where you're actually balancing, staying nice and calm and active. Okay. Try to build up 10 seconds at a time, then 20 seconds. And then once you can hold for 30 seconds, then you can start implementing things like trying to squat down. Okay, you can even start to add in closing your eyes while you're balancing. Okay, and just again, getting comfortable. And then once you can do that for at least 30 seconds, then you can start playing with changing up the angles of your feet. Okay, where you're either angling them out, doing a little bit of internal rotation, maybe a combination where one is neutral, one's out to the side. And again, you can start getting to where you're just comfortable holding this position, then get to where you can hold it in a squat. And once you're able to accumulate that good amount of time, then you can move on to some more advanced stuff. Okay, if you're using a cushion, again, this thing is really awesome. I like to use both. When you're getting on this, make sure you kind of have it centered on the board as best you can. Get one foot planted down, and again, you can use a bar or a wall if you're first starting out. And then just kind of press down, and then you'll be going back and forth. And again, accumulate 10, 20, then 30 seconds. Okay, then you can get to where you're holding it in the bottom of a squat, 10, 20, 30 seconds, and then start changing up your foot angles. You can also do things where you're facing the nose of the board. Okay, start out where you're just facing the side, but then as you start to get more advanced, you want to change up where you're facing some different angles. And then this way you're strengthening different planes of motion and all these different stabilizer muscles. Okay, hope this helped you out. Start slow and start safe.